welcome back to Chef Jeff's One's cooking channel. Tonight we're going to be cooking some steaks. We've got two types here. We've just got a normal sirloin and we've got some sirloins with the bone in. I personally like the bone in a bit more, it's a bit more flavour, but other people don't. We're going to be making a peppercorn sauce, and for that we've got some nice whole black peppercorns in a very snazzy mug. There, we've got some nice single cream, got a little bit of whiskey as well, and I'm going to put some mushrooms for it. It's not classic, but for me it helps out. And we're going to slice up 2 onions to go in there, and we've got a little bit of just beef stock. You can use a cube, that's my homemade beef stock. So and then we're going to be doing triple cooked chips here, so nice big potatoes so we can get nice fat chips as well. For the asparagus, we just need a little bit of garlic and a little bit of butter just to saute that off after. For the steaks, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of bay leaf as well. And then I've actually got some bone marrow here. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I'll probably add it in with the steaks when we're searing it off as well. And then just to finish off, we've got a little bit of salad here. I'm just going to do a French dressing for that. Need a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of mustard. So yeah, I'm going to flip the cameras around and let's get this started. Right guys, to start off straight away, we're going to be jumping on with our chips. And the reason why I suggested to pick out the bigger ones and the wider ones is just so we can get more chunkier chips out of potatoes, so you're not going through loads of little ones to get tiny little chips, because we want nice big chunky chips for this. And the reason why they are called triple cooked chips is because you do cook them 3 times. So if I was in work, I would steam them, but I don't have a steamer, so it's even better for everyone else at home. So what I'd like to do, I like to boil mine. I start mine off from cold water and I bring them up to the boil, and I let them boil probably for about, say, 6 to 10 minutes after they've started boiling. If you don't let them boil out for a little bit, what you're going to find that happens is they're going to stay quite hard and you're not going to get them nice and fluffy. So guys, make sure, it's very important, you let them boil out for a little bit. So guys, the other 2 processes of cooking our chips at the end is obviously going to be with a deep fat fryer. I own one, so if you don't have one, you can always just put it in a saucepan, but just got to be extremely careful about the oil. You just got to handle it with extreme caution. So the second process, after we do boil our potatoes, and I will be talking through it all again, we'll be actually putting them in a fryer at 140 degrees. And this is just so we can get a nice sear on the outside, and this just helps the potatoes go extra fluffy. And the final stage, just before we serve them, at 210 to get that beautiful golden crispiness. Right, so guys, after we've cleaned down, what I'm done now, I've sped this up quite a lot because it did take me a little while to get everything prepared. But we're actually slicing up the onions now for our peppercorn sauce, also with some garlic, guys. So, and with the mushrooms, I've just gave them a quick wash then, and just to make sure there's no dirt on them or anything. The peppercorn sauce is very, very simple. So slice your onions, slice up your mushrooms and your garlic, and then follow the next stages. And yeah, we're going to crack this out. So guys, we're making a quick French dressing, and for this I've actually got 1 tablespoon of mustard, 2 teaspoons of vinegar and 2 teaspoons of olive oil as well, a little bit of salt and pepper. If you're not a big fan of this, don't worry, you don't have to do it. It's not for the steak or nothing. If this is just for the salad, I like to toss through, and then right at the end, when you've got the nice consistency, add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Might need a little bit of lemon, but that's down to you guys. Right guys, now we're up to the fun bit. We're actually going to be cooking off our onions and making one of my favourite sauces to go with a steak. So as you can see, onions straight away in a hot pan, a little bit of olive oil and a nice pinch of salt so we can extract all that moisture out. After you've let them cook down for a while, you want to add your mushrooms, thyme, bay leaf and the garlic. Make sure you don't add your garlic at the start because it's going to burn with the onions, but just make sure you cook out the onions a little bit, because what I find, if you don't, they stay quite hard when you put in your whiskey and your beef stock as well. So just guys, just take an extra minute, cook them out, just so you get them down like me and make them nice and translucent. So guys, just in case anyone's wondering what is that saucepan at the back, that's where my chips are. As you can see, they're not boiling too much. You know, if they are, they're going to start like breaking just around the corners and stuff, while we're taking so long to get a perfect cut. So you just want them on a light simmer and just let them just relax. Take a little bit of time, about 8 to 10 minutes. So guys, now that my onions are sweated down with a little bit of my mushrooms and garlic and everything in there, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add my peppercorns in there and just let them toast off a little bit. Make sure they're all around the pan, they're all evenly distributed. And yeah, once again, so as you can see, I actually did bang them up a little bit with a rolling pin just to help crack them a little bit. You do want to use whole peppercorns. Now, my favourite bit, add your whiskey in. Make sure you've got a lighter at hand, flambe it, we like to say. And what you're doing now, you're cooking off the alcohol. Don't stand over it because you will lose your eyebrows. But yeah, so you don't want to put it out the flame. You want the flame to cook out itself. And yeah, just watch your eyebrows, guys, and your hair. Now, I'm actually adding my beef stock. So yeah, you want to add your beef stock and you just want to slowly cook it down, guys. You just want to let all the liquid cook down, and what you're doing, you're actually really concentrating all the flavour here. As you can see, my potatoes are coming off. I didn't get a video of me straining them, unfortunately, but I will be showing you the next stage. Guys, we're in the final stages of making our delicious peppercorn sauce. So what I'm doing now, I'm just reducing down the beef stock again by about 3/4. And then after it's reduced down, I'm actually going to add one whole carton. I think it's about 255 mils. I might be wrong. I'm going to add all of that in, and that is single cream. And then once again, I'm going to reduce it down just until the last 2 minutes. I'm going to add a little knob of butter, and that's just going to give it a really nice sort of shine to it. Bearing in mind, we are tasting it to make sure if it does need any more salt, or believe it or not, pepper. So guys, now after I've strained off my potatoes, obviously I'll put them straight onto a tea towel and I'm letting them steam. As you can see, all that moisture's coming out. And what you're doing now, this is going to help make our potato chip even more fluffy. So yeah, this is what we want. We want to let them steam out a little bit. It's all like you're doing roast potatoes. And as you can see now, that was the first batch I pulled out. I don't know if you could really see, but they actually looks like they've got a little skin around them. And so this is when my fryer was set to 140 degrees. And yeah, I'm just slowly searing them off, and this is very important. So this is the second stage of the chip. The final stage is just to finish it off in a really hot fryer at 210 degrees, so we get them nice golden and crunchy. Right guys, now we're coming up to our steaks, and obviously they are room temperature. They've been out of the fridge for about 2 hours now, and what I'm seasoning them up with, you can do any sort of flavour you want, peri peri, harissa, etc, barbecue, whatever you want. But for me, for my steak and chips, I'm just going to go salt and pepper, and I think this works enough. I don't think it needs anything else. So make sure they are room temperature. I like to leave mine out for an hour plus. But if you go half an hour, I'm sure they will just be as fine. So in this meanwhile, my fryer is whacked up. I'm keeping an eye on my sauce, and also my pan's on for my steaks. Right guys, now for my favourite part is to cook the steaks. As you can see, my pan is extremely hot. You do want your pan literally smoking. Get the extractor on. If people start moaning, yeah, like this is what you need like to cook a perfect steak. So as you can see, the fat, it goes really nice and golden, and I like my fat really nice and crunchy. Some people don't like the fat, that is down to them. And as you can see, as I lay down my steak, I push it down, and what I'm doing is just making sure all the surface area is in direct contact with the pan, and this is how you're going to get a really nice sear. A lot of people I see cooking at home as well, moving their steaks a lot. You don't need to be moving your steaks a lot. That was the way I was taught. You need to be moving your steaks about 6 times, that's in total, and I'm talking from the minute you put it in to the pan until you baste it in straight on the board, guys. The herbs I have there is thyme, bay leaf and garlic, and I have about a tablespoon of butter, if I believe, at hand there. And so as you can see, I've added my butter then. Going to start adding the herbs, and you're going to start hearing a little pop and a little that sizzle sort of thing. That's good. We're exposing some of the flavour out of the herbs, and it's going into the butter, and it's going to just be making our steaks so much better. As you can see, I gave the steaks another flip then, and yeah, I'm going to start basting the steaks with all the juice there, as you can see there. And what this helps the flavour so much more, guys. Now they're out of the pan, I'm going to let them rest for about 8 to 7 minutes. Right guys, now we're going to be starting with our asparagus. Very simple for this part. We're not mucking around too much. We've had a little bit more oil back to the steak pan, that we've got all that lovely existing flavour. Just our asparagus is in, and we're just going to give it a couple of tosses. Guys, I know I did mess up a little bit. I didn't actually record myself actually cooking the chips back in the fryer, but I can tell you now that if you put them back in about 210 degrees to 220 degrees, place them in there for about 3-4 minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on them. Don't take my exact word on it. Making sure that, and then pull them out, and they'll should go beautifully golden brown. A little bit of salt, give them a nice toss, and they're ready to go as well, guys. And at this point as well, I'm actually mixing my salad through my dressing, my French dressing that I just made, and then I'm going to start getting all the plate up, and you're going to see me carve up the steak. So guys, now is the nice easy part. What I've done, just to save you watching, I've just taken mine off the bone, because just in case some of you haven't. And what I like to do, I like to carve my steak up just before it goes on the plate. I don't know why I like to do this. Yeah, I just think it helps out a lot more, and it looks, I think for me personally, presentation wise, and I do give you a little close up of the steak in a minute. It was cooked perfection, and I can honestly say everyone that I cooked this for, let's just say I'm making it again very, very soon. So guys, if you do like this video, please share it out, try and get it out there for me. I would really much appreciate it. Share it on Instagram, and I've actually just created my TikTok. So if you do want to see a couple of my TikTok videos, I'm not dancing, I'm cooking. If you do want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll give you my TikTok user as well. Guys, thank you very much. Hope everyone takes care, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.